Hello everybody and welcome to the DailyME episode 13. It is currently 6:45 PM in the workshop. It is an absolute bomb site in here, but I'm getting started on today's video now because I have a deadline at 8 AM tomorrow morning of finishing this the Firepit top thing. My words have lost at the moment. I'm just going to roll it there, do the intro. So yeah, just for context, bomb site, not looking good, but the first task is going to be sanding this thing because it's all glued together now. It's pretty damn solid. So yeah, I'm going to turbo sand it, get that done, and then I'll start talking you through the trammel thing that I have somewhat planned, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, so the top's now sanded to 120 grit. It's only rough because it's going to go outside and I know they're not going to be too fussy, and I've definitely prioritised the top rather than the underside because the underside is the underside, but there we go. So that's sanded both sides now. And now I need to get fixing the tram arm in the centre of this. So first, I'll see if I can generate some sort of centre point by going corner to corner. All right, so the center point is about there, but I do have plenty of overhang. So let's just double check if that was lined up with the crosshairs on here. Yeah, so I'll literally just have it on that center join there, just in case, I don't know, they decide to put something in the center later on. At least it's in the join there and it looks central rather than be at that center point there, which isn't along the line. And so for fixing this tram alarm in place, there is a few ways I could go about it. The two ways I'm thinking of is, firstly, I could get some sort of panel pin and just knock that through and then into the table below and just plug the hole afterwards. The second method involves putting a sacrificial piece of material here, clamping it down, fixing it somehow, and then another sacrificial piece of material on this side of the tram alarm to elevate it to the same height. And then that will mean I don't need to drill into the top. But that means a little bit of jiggery with clamping and stuff like that. And I'm not too fond of the thought of the trammel point only going in the depth of whatever sacrificial material is here. I want it to go in a little bit deeper than that in an ideal world. And so I'm actually going to go into the top itself. And because I'm doing this all from the underside, I'm not too fussed about that. I'll just plug it with some sort of oak dowel afterwards and it will never be seen. Yeah, it'll be fine. I did think about doing this with the old panel pins, but again, this material is quite thick and that would mean that literally about 5mm of the panel pin would be resting in the top below. Again, I could counterbore the tram alarm if I wanted, but that's quite thin as well, and I'm going to be taking quite a deep cut with it, so I want the pin to be more substantial. So I'm just going to use a bolt, to be honest, drill it in like that, and again, that's only like a 4 or 5mm hole, so it's very easy to plug afterwards. And of course, I'm very much aware there will be many other ways of doing this, which I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments below. I'm going about this in a way, I'm recognizing that it's quite late, I'm quite tired, I don't want to do anything complex, I just want to do something that I know works, it's nice and simple and doesn't really require much thought, because the thought of doing anything complicated is not only not what I want at this time, but probably not safe either, and yeah, I'm not taking that risk. Right, instead I found a lathe accessory that is 1/4 inch exactly and doesn't have any threads on the bottom, so it gives a more substantial lock. So we'll just tap that through. I hope I can get this out afterwards. I ain't taking any chances with this trammel. Gorgeous. Right, I definitely didn't account for how dense this stuff actually is. I guess that's what you get for buying prime grade European oak, or American oak actually. It doesn't really matter. Either way, it is as dense as lead. But what I'm going to do, to avoid annoying the neighbours, because it is getting very late by this point, I am going to jigsaw off the excess material now that I've got this sort of nice lip at the front. And then that should allow me to take off more with the router each time and yeah, just lessen the load on the bit, I suppose. This is something that I would have done anyway. I wouldn't have jigsawed it out first and then flushed it with the router. I would have loved to have given myself this lip first to use as a proper reference point. So yeah, let's get jigsawing at this time. Right, that's all jigsawed off. By the way, side note, sorry for all the uninteresting shots. My camera is linked to the wall there because it died and it is currently charging while filming. So I can't move it. So you're stuck there for now. I hope the zoom in and zoom outs are doing it for you. So yeah, right, let's route off the excess material. Obviously, I'm not going to go all the way down to the bench. What I'll probably do is leave it about 10 mil short of going all the way down and then get a flush trim bit from the other side and sort that out afterwards. So yeah, we're out in. Sorry neighbours, I'll be done in a minute, in an hour. Right, so the internal size of this fire pit is 800. I'm going to give it 15 millimeters of wiggle room, so we'll make that 785 internal. Let's just write that on here like it's a Wagamama menu. There we go, 785. And then the external is 825, so let's make that, I don't want it to, let's make it 835. 835. So from that pin, we're going to do a 785, and that's an internal measurement, which means I need to add, oh, is it 6 millimeters onto it? Let me think. Internal measurement means you need to add the half of the width of the cutter on it. Yes, okay. So 785 divided by 2 equals 392 plus, what did I say, 398.5, okay. If this whole tram alarm thing confuses you, don't worry, I will do a proper tutorial on it at some point. There'll be loads out there already on the internet, but yeah, basically it's accounting for when you want to cut an internal measurement, you need to account for the width of the cutter on this side. And if you want to cut an external radius, you need to account for the cutter on this side of it. So it is basically just minusing or adding half the width of the cutter onto each measurement. It's not too complicated. All right, so we'll do the external one first, and then that means when I'm doing the internal one, if I go around anti-clockwise again, yeah, that will mean that I'm cutting on the correct side of the cutter. So we're only going to go about 10 millimeters deep for this groove because it's only a sort of locking thing, doesn't really need too much depth on it. So yeah. Right, and while I wait for that top layer to soak in before I buff it off, I am going to take a tip from myself that I gave you at the start of this series, and that is, if you want more time in the workshop, if you want to make it more efficient when you're here, ow, so did my eye, then you need to tidy the place the day before, the night before, or the evening floor, or whatever. The evening before you come in the next day, and so I'm going to go around and blitz this workshop in the 20 minutes I'm going to leave this to soak in, so that when I come in tomorrow, I got a fresh mind and I'm in a better state than I am now. Because I need dinner. In fact, let's give it until 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, 25 minutes to let that finish soak in. And we are going to sort out all of this, all of that. Just restack this, I guess. Maybe give this area a bit of a sort out as well. And I promise not to change the clock. I am just going to see what happens. In fact, there's only 29 minutes left on this card, so perfect. On the dot. So look, floor's been swept, walkway's clear, everything is in the bin. This area sorted. These, I mean, sorted enough, that's fine. This walkway also clear, so then I can just come in fresh as a daisy tomorrow morning. Oh look, I even did this area. Fresh as a daisy tomorrow and start a good day in the workshop. Whew. So I'm going to go take that bin out and then I will see you here, probably in this exact spot, for the remainder of this DailyME video. Right, it's now 6:30 the next morning and I'm going to go back there and just double check everything fits. I dropped it off at like, it must have been 11 o'clock last night, but obviously couldn't do the final fitting because it was dark, so back again today. And then of course, after dropping it off at 10 o'clock last night, I stayed around there for a bit and just chatted for things. And then on the way back home to sleep, all the roads were shut. So I didn't get back until like 12ish or something. Got into bed and then decided to go on a YouTube binge for some stupid reason. So I didn't sleep until 1 o'clock. So I'm a little bit tired today, just a little bit tired. All right, so I just got here and there's a few areas underneath that I need to notch out. So I've made this kind of plywood drilling thing with 2 different size holes in it, clamp that in position, and then that will allow me to locate the drill without the need of locating the point on the end, just in case it lines up with that groove on the underside. Right, they're both marked. So I've also got 2 on the inside, or maybe 3 on the inside that I need to do as well. God knows how I'm getting to them. So I didn't realise there's 2 of these anchor points on the inside. I only marked 1 of them, but on here I can see there's a little scuff mark there, and so I'm pretty sure that's where the second one's going to be. Well, I hope they're right. One there and one there. So now I need to do the exterior ones, which will account for these knuckles. And I'm going to try and use a bigger drill bit for these. I think it's a 40 mil, 45 mil. It's a big boy. Not bad at all. Turns out the removal van's coming at 8, so I need to get going. Oh, that late night was so worth it. It's clean-ish in here. Yay!